Okay, hold on.
Um,
Hold on. I'm
well, that's
gonna
all right.
stop. Ah, recording in
Okay.
progress. There you go.
Okay.
And it's okay to record you.
It is absolutely okay to
Okay.
record.
One quick question. Your head is really high. Is it possible if you got a computer just to, there we go.
Is that better?
Hi there. Well,
Hello.
let's see. It's recording and we're here.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Ira Serkes with Compass Real Estate and I'm with Bari Cornet. Hi, Bari.
Hello there.
Hey, Carol and I just sold Barry's Julia Morgan designed home, and that's actually one of the plans in the background. Um, so congratulations, we'll be closing soon.
Thank you.
Now I'm going to question, why did you decide to sell? You have such a beautiful home.
I've lived there for 45 years, raised 3 kids there. They're long gone on their own, and there are a few, as you can tell from the drawing, a few more steps than I want. They're not currently a problem, but they could be.
Oh, many of our clients have done the same thing. They've downsized or moved to level in or moved to be closer to family or friends. And when we remodeled our house, we made sure everything was level in and wheelchair accessible, and they even installed grab bars. So I know the feeling.
Well, that's exactly right. The house I bought is level in, all on one level.
Congratulations. Now I'm curious, how did you hear about us? I forgot where we first met.
I'm not quite sure when we first met, but I'm one of those people who for years, probably a good 15, maybe even 20, have talked about, oh, my house is too big, I should move. And I'd get in the mood and I'd look for a week or so and they said, it's too much work, I'm not going to do this. And at one of those points, I met you and Carol. I don't know whether it was at an open house or what have you. And you put up with me in the interim of every couple of years, I'd go out and look at open houses, and nothing really struck my fancy until maybe about 5 years ago. And we put in offers on a couple of houses, which I didn't get. And as it turns out, that was perfect.
It really was. What happened is of all the houses you looked at, I think the one you bought is actually the best one,
For me,
the
it's
best of all possible worlds. I mean, the location
absolutely,
is superb and it gives you options that were really nice.
absolutely.
Now I'm intrigued because over those years, I mean, we probably go back decades. Our record is 11 years from start to finish, from first meeting to buying a house.
Oh, this
Uh,
is longer than that.
it took longer. Oh, so you may have set the record then, but I have to let the world know. I don't think I have 11 more years left to me, so you're gonna have to buy them the next decade if you want to buy or sell.
Okay.
But that'll be good. But over during that time, you must have met like dozens of different agents. Why us?
You were attentive. You paid attention to what I was looking for, and probably most important, you didn't bug me.
Uh,
You were very attentive and very responsive, but it required me to, and this was well suited for me. It required me to say, "Oh, hey, I want to look at this one."
well, we find I think a lot of real estate agents see their role as selling houses. And to me, that's simply the byproduct, the
Mhm.
end result. We see our role as providing you with the information you need to make the right decision.
Yeah.
And I think if you change that perspective, you realize that, our objective is really to be of service and to be your advocate and to be your representative and not your salesperson, so to speak.
Well, I appreciate that very much. I don't know whether you knew this or not, but I grew up with a mother who was a realtor. My father worked for UC San Diego, and my mother viewed her role as showing prospective hires what was available in the San Diego area. And she had no intention of particularly selling. She just wanted to show people what the community had to offer. The result of which was people, if they did decide to come, would go to her. So I had come with that expectation of, show me what's around and what's available. And when I'm ready, and you wouldn't bug me in the interim. So I
Exactly.
appreciated that.
Well, it's really funny because many times I'm asked, well, when's the best time to sell? And I'm able to look somebody straight in the face and say, I know exactly the best time to sell or buy. And they always go, when's that? This is
when you're
when
ready.
you're ready.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's now it's interesting because you've now seen us in two different roles, and
Right.
Carol and I also have different responsibilities during a transaction. So let's talk about the buying side first. What was that like? And what? So tell the world what it was like.
As a buyer, as a prospective buyer, what I appreciated is that, as you say, you and Carol have very different roles. Carol, for the business part of it, is absolutely precise. Dot the I's, cross all the T's. Nothing's going to get past her.
Nope.
You are much more, you, Ira, in case someone's
Yeah.
doesn't have the video in front of them, are much more of the people person, trying to figure out what is it that someone's wanting and what are some of the issues and that kind of thing. I appreciated the very different roles.
Yeah, it's interesting because we step in at
You just
different.
moved inside the house.
Oh, I know. We went from a floor plan or a site plan with this little, I don't know
Yeah,
if you see the mouse on the bottom right, to
yeah,
that beautiful detail in your home. That's what
yeah,
makes only Julia Morgan's special.
yeah,
Um, and let's see, one thing, after you bought your house, you owned two houses.
yes.
What advice do you have for people who find themselves in that situation?
Don't do it if you can avoid it. It's very expensive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was stressful, and I know in
yeah,
effect you put your plans on hold until we had your home sold and then closing very soon. Um, Now I know. What about on the seller side? So you have different roles for buyers and sellers, and of course, Karen, you already spoke of how Karen and I differ, or the responsibilities we take on. What was it like selling versus
the,
buying?
the biggest thing about being a seller is recognizing that my house is not my house. I mean, I think of some of the things that were done in terms of upgrades are things that I did not like. But that's irrelevant. I mean, I would use the example. I have a good friend who, when she was selling her condo, she's very much of a goth kind of person. And she was so excited. She was going to paint the house to get it, spotless and pristine for a new prospective buyer. So she was going to paint the ceiling, the walls, and the floor all black. And it's like, no, 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 no.
That's not a big demographic.
That's not what you want to do. You want to have the house presented in such a way that the most people in the buying market will find it attractive. And
Exactly.
that's not me.
No.
And
Well,
that was the biggest thing of difference between selling and buying.
well,
Buying.
what we find is we talk to people and say sometimes, "Who's that?" I get a little, "Who's that string?" Oh, it's my headphone. What we say is living in a house and preparing it for sale are two separate things.
Absolutely. And
And
that's the most important thing to recognize
right
as a seller. It's not
now,
my house.
you spent a fair amount of money getting your house ready for
I did.
sale. And that must have been
That hurt.
interesting. I'm gonna see if I can move this string away. It's my cord for my headset. Hang on. Yeah, this is definitely real me. uh, so what was it like? I mean, and what you said, by the way, is very common. I've often get sellers tell me, "I've seen what you're doing to the house. I hate it."
Yeah.
And I said, in my real estate therapist mode, well, first, how does that make you feel? And then the next thing is, well, that's good because we're helping you move from your home to a house that you're selling.
Yeah.
And I think it really does help in the transition.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing that I've said to a number of people, is that one has to rely on the expertise of the realtor. the selling realtor.
Hmm.
You know what people are looking for. It's not what I'm looking for. And what I'm looking for is irrelevant when I'm putting my house on the market.
And the results?
I what can I say? I had sort of set what I thought was a minimum price that I could reasonably accept, given that I had another house and a loan I had to pay off. And then there was the price of what I would be really like to get. And in fact, we came in right in the middle of that, which is good.
Oh, good,
So
good, good.
I'm pleased with that.
Now, we can't go into too many details, but we also have the negotiations were
Right.
very interesting, and I think turned out very well for you.
Yes, I think that I appreciate tremendously what you did on that.
Thank you. The one thing I see in common when I read about reviews by other agents is
Mhm.
I never heard from the other agent. I don't know what's going on. So how are our communications to you?
They were very good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And
I'm probably less anxious than many sellers.
mhm.
But even if I had been an anxious seller, I appreciated very much you sort of letting me know what was going on when it was going on.
Well, thank you. One thing, all professional fees are negotiable. And
Right.
what I found is that our fees often actually might even be higher than what many other agents will settle
Right.
for. Do you feel we were worth it?
I feel that's what the price was.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
And it's sort of like, I don't view them fees as being particularly negotiable. It's sort of
Okay,
it is what it is.
gotcha. Well, and so you already talked a bit about changing your home from your home to one for sale. And so you took our recommendations, or we met with people and consulted and reviewed
Mhm.
recommendations to get it ready. What about the starting price, the list price? How did you feel
Again, I
about?
had to rely completely and totally on your expert professional judgment.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, you used our Compass Concierge
Right.
program, and
Right.
for people who don't know, it advances the funds to fix up a house
Right.
at no charge and no interest rate.
Right.
And I've been amazed how smooth the process is. How did you find it?
Oh, it's very easy.
It was really simple. I'm using it myself for a
Yeah.
place that Carol and I are selling. It's like within a few minutes, boom, you're approved.
Yeah. It was approved, and I could, write a check, or I could transfer the money someplace else. And I could have done it in little bits here and there, but it all went to one place. So it was
Good.
really easy.
Now, other sellers and even other buyers are going to look at this video. What else would you like them to know?
Not to rush. In terms of, I guess this is from the perspective, well, let me forget what I just said. Let me start over again. One needs to be clear of why they're moving. And that will determine how much of a rush they're in or not.
Hmm.
In my case, I had a house I loved. It was ultimately something I wanted to sell. And over a period of 15 or so years, I decided to sell it. Had I been in a position that I had to move instantly, it would have been a very different thing. So that's the first question that someone should ask themselves. Why am I moving, and how quickly do I have to do it?
The big why.
Yeah.
And
And
then the second question or third, any others?
rely on the professionals who know what they're doing.
Oh, thank you. Now, I know you're very adventuresome, so I hope you have some wonderful adventures planned once everything closes.
I will start looking at them. I have held off committing to anything until after
Uh,
the money, everything is escrow is closed and the money is back, and I
that
paid off
that's
the things I have to pay off.
that's
Then
wise.
I
Well,
will then I will figure out what I want to do and where I
uh,
want.
well, we look forward to seeing your adventures. Barry, it's just an utter delight seeing you and working with you and visiting with you and finding out about your travels and adventures. So thank you, Karen and I just thank you so much. We really
Well,
appreciate your
and
trust in us.
I do thank the two of you. You've been very easy to work with.
Thank you.
Okay. Take
Okay,
care. Bye.
bye.